What is going on, guys? It is your boy Kevin Colon, and I'm coming at you with a new video, one that I've been asked for quite a lot since I made my how to fix Spellmaster Shang and the changes that I wanted to be made to it. How to win with Spellmaster Shang. It's finally here. I'm going to be discussing specifically tools that relate to his variation. So if you want to cover more of his basic toolkit, I would go and check out my Warlock guide where I cover a lot of that, then come back here and learn about how this variation makes use of those same tools. Also, if you're interested in playing me with my Spellmaster Shang, you can do so on twitch.tv/Kevinmcolon. I've been streaming most nights during the quarantine at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My schedule is always on my Twitter. And join my Battle for the Realms tournaments that I've been hosting on stream every Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're even offering cash prizes. They're small, but they're there. And if you'd like to earn some free money by bopping some dudes in the game, come on in, check us out. I'm also offering tutorials on Patreon now because I'm trying to do this content thing, and that's what I'm supposed to do. So that's what I'm doing, and I want to help the people. But if you want my time, you got to pay. Outside of that, enjoy the YouTube content for free. That's what I like putting it here for. This is probably going to be one of the most variation-specific videos I've made on a character. I'm only going to address tools that are relative to this variation and how they should be used. So I'm actually going to cover them in the order. I've got my notepad here of special moves, patch changes, and then how we bring those together. So it's kind of like my reaction to the Spellmaster nerfs and buffs. Well, mostly buffs. I don't think he really got nerfed. My reaction to the buffs, as well as the game plan that I think it helps with. To give you the TLDR version of this video, if you're only here to hear my answer to the question, how viable is this variation? It's just as much of a struggle as it was before. It's only gotten a little bit better due to some changes, but Spellmaster has always been really hard to play, and it's gotten even harder to play. I know Ketchup and Mustard posted that 100% combo, but it's very situational. A lot of the cool stuff that's been found in the lab for him is very situational, and the problem with Spellmaster is that it's very situational. Let's go over why. The pro of Spellmaster is that you gain access to small amounts of unbreakable damage. A lot of people who play Shang don't actually keep in mind that most of his strings don't lift your opponent off the floor. So if you can get a hit, ideally the hit is usually unbreakable. Warlock and Soul Eater make it not seem like that because they both have combo extenders that lift the opponent off the floor, but Spellmaster's doesn't. Spellmaster has this down back one string that can be amplified for damage. It's going to be your go-to combo ender in this variation, and strings like 114 that pop up won't actually connect to it, as you'll see there. I hit Jackie while she was getting up, but it didn't combo. It's only the first 3 hits. We don't get a combo off of it, but a string like forward 2-4 doesn't bring her off the floor. We can combo it. A string like back 3 up 4, we can combo it. Back 1-1 can combo it. Standing 4, standing 3, 3 up 2 can combo it all the way fully. I specifically chose Jackie because if I'm not mistaken, she has the smallest hurt box in the game, and these still work on her. So your combo, as long as you don't lift her off the floor, will stay consistent at small amounts of damage. For the sake of pure raw damage, 3 up 2 is going to be the biggest damage you can get out of anything. So something like this, will be about the most damage you're going to get for bread and butter in this variation, outside of taking advantage of other gimmicks to bring more damage out. But your attacks on their own aren't going to do much. That 28 or 29 damage we just got from that combo is about the most you're going to get from basic combo routes. We also have our Screaming Soul. It's the same projectile we discussed before. Your back forward 1. This thing sucks. It is 36 frames of startup for the zoning move. It can be amplified to cut it down to 22 and turn it into a mid, but it still isn't the best thing, and most people will see, react to, and block that move. It can be canceled 16 frames in by pressing down. If you do that, you can get combos off of it, but we're going to discuss that later because it is a bit situational. We also get Soulwell, which has been patched now. Before, there was a bug with Soulwell where you could do a string like back 3 up 4, go into Soulwell, and you would automatically heal 4 health. That has been fixed, which might even actually hurt the variation a little bit. But the way that Soulwell functions is you get it out. Hopefully your opponent respects it for some reason and doesn't punish you for the 70 frames that you're recovering on that move. You can do damage to your opponent, and half of the damage that you deal out, you will heal back when you recall the move. It is 70 frames of recovery to get the solo out, and 75 frames to call it back in. If you don't do any damage, you'll just heal 4. You could potentially deal a lot of damage to your opponent, for example, and then heal back. And if I manage to pull something like that off, 13 health isn't amount of health that I would gain back that you would sneeze at. It is meaningful. I could win a game that I should have lost for healing like that, but it's very, very rare and situational that you'll get that move out without getting punished, and that you'll recover it back without getting punished. So it's 2 situations: a very big recovery window to get it out, and a very, very big recovery window to get it back in. So it's a hard move to take use of. Outside of that, you have your down forward 3. So your scatter souls, if I'm not mistaken, it can be amplified. If you do land the amplified version, it does give you combo extension. So something like this, or something like this again for damage. So that'll give us like 32 if we hit it, but that's 2 bars for 33% damage. And this move is also very slow on amplify, 38 frames to get to her. The farther away she is, the harder it is to combo. And in certain situations, it doesn't combo the way that you would think it would combo. Outside of being amplified, it can be charged in up to 4 phases, right? So you'll see we can just let it rip, and doing that, we've done 6% damage. We can charge it to phase 2 and do 8% damage. We can charge it to phase 3 and do 10, and I believe at full charge it does 120. So that's good for the damage buff. Outside of that, on block, it doesn't work the way that you would hope it would work. Your hope would be that in benefits to the damage buff, if I let the move rip, I'm minus 10. If I charge it to phase 2, I'm minus 5. If I charge it to phase 3, I'm still minus 5. If I charge it fully, I'm only 0, and I basically reset us back to neutral. Notice the distance that we're at here, and watch when I restart training mode, that's the same distance we're at here. So you just completely reset neutral, almost as if you're back at the beginning of the game. And if you don't have a life lead, that could hurt you, giving your opponent this neutral game again that you just worked so hard to steal from them. You've now given it back to them by pushing them away farther. You can cancel the move, but it is very punishable on cancel, of course, at any stage. 27 frames of recovery, and I mean, just look at it. If someone guesses that they can punish it, they'll get a punish on it. The only added benefit that it has is the fact that it now armor breaks. So if I set the AI to do a breakaway, like here, I can get an armor break on her, which in certain situations can lead to combo damage. But it can be hard. So something you would want to be able to do, here from breakaway into this, you see, it didn't combo the way that I would want that to combo. Oh, I do this, I got armor break, I get combo extension, it's too slow. In other situations in the corner, it will actually combo, but I'm going to discuss that in a bit when I get up to it. Ideally, if you do land the armor break, you just have to get in and do your punish. I have easy crushing blows on, so forgive me for that one. So again, get in. Sorry, I keep messing that combo up. Get in, get your damage. 35 isn't anything to sneeze at. If you can get a jump in, you can get up to about 38% damage. That armor break is situational. So let's look at another situation here. The specific reason I set Jackie to fast breakaway is to show some of the caveats that Scatter Soul can have, some of where it gets inconsistent. So 114, it'll punish, and that's great. And that's as fast as she can break away. So she can do a late breakaway, a delayed breakaway. I'll still catch both of those. Let's say I fish for my back 1 down 2 crushing blow, and I now try to hit it. She's out of there in time. So in certain situations, even though it armor breaks, it still won't buy you an armor break, as you can see here. However, off of down 2, you can still catch it. But back 1 down 2, which is your usual go-to, they can get out of it fast enough. So that kind of becomes a problem, because that's usually the crushing blow they're going to spend breakaway on. Because outside of that, you don't do a lot of damage, if you do damage at all. So it's important to note that if you do go for this crushing blow and you re-breakaway, you still have the old strategy of just get it down 2 because it's the most damage you can get. Because Scatter Souls actually won't punish an armor break in that situation. Outside of that, one of the new changes that has been made to the back one down 2 crushing blow, while it sucks for armor breaking, it does bring the opponent closer. So comboing off of it is easier now, and you'll see, what is this move called? Crashing Flames, which before would have problems hitting the opponent consistently if you use standing 3. I'm sorry, I did standing 4 off of muscle memory. If you use standing 3, you can actually get the full damage off of it, even though you can get bigger damage than that. You also now get the ability to side switch off of hitting this because of the way that the game brings her closer to you. So you'll see I can land this, dash forward, and end up on the other side of my opponent, and you can combo off of that if you're better than me and practice it. Oh my god, hold on. We're going to get this because we're on YouTube. We can't hit it, you know? I'm just going to do standing 4 into slide. There. You can side switch. It's important to know that a lot of times you'll just go for the damage because in Spellmaster you're trying very hard to fish for the damage anyway. If they do breakaway, you can't side switch because they'll keep themselves on that side. So you'll see I'll set the AI to do a breakaway again, even a late one. I'll try to go for it. She'll break away. I can't side switch anymore because she has the armor. So it won't work in that situation. But if they don't have defensive meter and you want to get them to the other side, and it's real important to get that pressure, and you think it's more important than the damage, you can side switch off of that crushing blow now. So with all of that information, what does Spellmaster Shang equate to? It equates to still a very big struggle variation. The reason being is that the biggest damage you can get off of this, while you can do some cool, fun stuff, you have to get your opponent in the corner. You're not doing a lot of damage to get them there. You do have tools like your slide, which are going to help you push them there. And of course, your strings are very big, forward advancing strings that all knock your opponent back if they are successfully hit. So we're pushing her closer. We're pushing her closer. We're pushing her close. She's in the corner. And now we can get into some actual gameplay mechanics. This is where Spellmaster shines. Though, keep in mind, the execution is not easy. So if you get an opponent with a meaningful amount of ping, this again becomes very difficult and inconsistent because you can get thrown off by your opponent's internet connection. It's happened to me. It'll happen to you. Even if you have wired or if you have Wi-Fi. I used to have Wi-Fi. I'm not clowning on people that have Wi-Fi. I was a Wi-Fi warrior back in the days myself. But your internet or their internet in that case can make this harder to play. And if you do have Wi-Fi, while I still feel like you should play the game because it's fun and learning the game, keep in mind your internet can ruin this for you if you're having a bad connection day. And if you're unwired and you hate Wi-Fi players, stop judging us. But also, if they have a bad connection, it can ruin this for you. What you can do here is actually make the most use out of your back forward one that you've ever had by canceling it to get combo extensions off of certain moves. So I'm going to set us over to the corner over here because the rest of this tutorial is basically going to take place in the corner from this point forward. Back forward cancels before were very, very specific, but with some of the buffs that Shang has been given, that have been given to him universally, but mostly matter in Spellmaster for these cancels, you now have access to more strings that can work into these combo cancels for you. For example, forward 2-4 has been buffed to 13 hit advantage, which means now I can cancel this. Sorry, remember the execution is tough. Oh, God. Come on, Kev. And you'll see I get combo extension off of that now. So that's cool. From the strings that I've recorded that you can do these cancel outs off of, standing 4 will work, 3 up 2 will work, forward 2-4 would work, and back 1-1 will work. So that'll give you situations like this. Let's say you're normally jailing your opponent. Forward 2-4-2 is one of Shang's best jail strings because if they do not flawless block the string, they are jailed into either a down 4 or a standing 4 in the corner because they won't be able to jump. What you can do is take advantage of that, and if you're very confident that they'll get jailed if you notice your opponent doesn't respect you, you can go for like standing 4 cancel into combo extension to confirm. So you can jail them now you're standing 4, which usually would just give you something like this, which can be very unsafe if blocked. Will now give you something like, oh God, come on, Kev. Will now give you something like this, which is a bit stronger. If you're really good, into a 3 up 2, which would be again the most damage you can get out of it. I'm trying to do it here for you guys so bad. There we go. But you can see how much of a struggle it is to get this execution, and I did practice these for about 30 minutes before the recording, so take note of how hard these are to do consistently. Of course, it's the same as upgraded Jackie. Practice them enough and they become second nature. I was doing them a lot more consistently yesterday than I was today when I slept in for 40 hours and jumped straight into it, but they do require execution, so they will be hard for you. What you can also do is take advantage of the Scatter Soul's armor break in the corner here. So I'm going to set her to delayed breakaway just to save myself a bit of the trouble. Of course, you saw that it does work on fast, because now armor breaks will, in the corner, combo into your down forward 3, which will combo into more strings. So if you want to go through the full kind of route that this can give you, you can get in with a combo, go for a string, call that your opponent is going to armor break. So call that your opponent is going to break away. Use Scatter Souls to armor break. Use your down forward 3 to combo extend, which will then give you the ability to land a string that is plus enough for you to use your back forward 1 cancel to get into another string to get into your ender. Sounds like a lot because execution wise it can be a lot, especially if you are a player that struggles with execution. This is only possible in the corner, and it is very tight to perform consistently. You can get it here and there. I think if I go for stuff like this, I'll get it 2 out of every 4 or 3 out of every 5 times that I go for it. But again, those times that I don't get it, it'll be a struggle, and you are spending defensive meter, which means if you don't connect it, you lose your ability to break away. So you have to be very confident in your ability to hit this to really take advantage of it after you go through the problem of getting your opponent in the corner in the first place, after you've labbed the execution to perform it under pressure and have done it consistently enough where you can rely on it. Which is why Spellmaster is such a struggle variation and can be so hard to use. The biggest damage I could possibly see somebody getting, if I can perform it, and if there's a cut in the video it's because it took me like 100 tries, would be something that would look like this. Okay, so just for the sake of the record, that took me about 5 tries to land. And I'm a player that feels like I have above average execution. I definitely don't have the world's best, but I definitely can hit some difficult combos consistently. And that took me about 5 tries. So you want to keep that in mind if execution is a struggle for you. That if you already have an inherent problem understanding execution and timing, this could feel very difficult for you. It feels a decent level difficult for me, and I've practiced this for about an hour or 2 already. So, Spellmaster Shang. Am I happy with it? While I am an easy player to please because I like getting anything, and I'm of the big old school mindset of I'll take something for what it is, because back in the day we didn't get patches. If you liked the character, if Spellmaster Shang was just how he was in Mortal Kombat, and that was the only way you could play him, and he sucked, he just sucked until the next game came out. So I am pleased that there is new stuff that we can lab and explore. That ketchup and mustard 100% combo on Showstopper Johnny. Stuff like that's very interesting to me. I enjoy little things like that. But I would reference a quote from Shujinki Dink's video, which you should also check out to see his opinion on it. I believe it's very similar to mine, though he goes over it quicker because obviously he's shown a lot of Spellmaster tech before. It's fun to lab it. It's fun to practice it. You can take advantage of it against like novice players who aren't as aware of it. You have to play about 3 times harder. You have to play about 3 times smarter than your opponent does to make this work. But it is a fun practice variation, not really a variation I think you'll see in tournaments, unless there's a player that is very prideful and wants to be known as the Spellmaster player. Of course, there are a couple of them out there. Probably some of them watching this video, hopefully. Hello, I would like to be one of you too, but I like winning. It's hard. You can make it work, but it's hard to make it work. Ideally, if you want to play Shang, and Shang is such a great character and you want to take him into tournaments, Warlock or Soul Eater are still going to be your go-tos. Spellmaster is fun, but I don't feel it's really viable. Of course, there's stuff that can be done with it. I'd love to be proven wrong. I would love nothing more than to see a EVO online and see some Spellmaster Shang body the competition and win. I, however, don't feel like it is likely. With that said, I'd like to thank you guys for staying in tune for this video for the full 21 minutes that I've been talking now. It means a lot to me that I can help you guys and offer something to the community, and that these videos have been well received. It's been warming my heart. And during tough times like these, having something like this to do has been very fun for me. So if you have any questions for me, I'm still a small YouTuber, so I'm responding to almost every comment that I get. Leave me your questions. I'll get to them as quick as I can. I usually respond very fast. If you don't get a quick response from me, I went to sleep. I'll respond to you the next day. Check out my streams and join my tournaments every Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please, I want them to grow. I'm so proud of how they've been turning out, and I'd like to bring you guys along for the ride. If you'd like to support, follow the channel, follow the Patreon, follow the Twitch. Come say hi to me in any form that you can. I'm very engaging because I'm very bored. And I will see you guys next time with more Mortal Kombat 11 tips and tricks. Specifically, Prime Directive RoboCop should be coming up next. I will see you guys soon. Play Mortal Kombat. Love you. Bye.